Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are working on our Arc Raiders looting helper. So I've been obsessed with this game, Arc Raiders. The idea of the game is, if you haven't heard of it, it's huge, by the way. I think it's like 400,000 concurrent on Steam, which is crazy. But the idea of the game is it's an extraction shooter. So, you play a guy. You're living underground because the world is taken over by these big spooky robots that kill you. There's like some story to the game where you're probably supposed to go and kill all the robots, whatever. But like the actual game loop is you go up into like a map, and this map is filled with robots and other players. And you are trying to like either do quests to progress the story, or you are trying to get loot for later, right? So you kind of gear up, you like take your gun, you put it in your backpack, you put some bandages in there in case you get hurt, and you like go with your stuff. And if you die, you lose the stuff, right? And so you're kind of trying to, over time, accumulate more and more stuff so that you can go kill other players and take their stuff, kill robots. Maybe you can play nice with the other players, but like you're trying to like protect yourself, right? So part of the game is there are like 100 plus items, probably. Here is the list of items that we've written down, right? This is just like, there are this many-ish, right? And you can like make some items out of other items, right? So if I want this like Renegade 4 or whatever, can we go to like Metaforge and look up like Renegade 4? This thing, you can like create it by grabbing a few mechanical components, a couple gun parts. You can create some like medium gun parts out of, you're supposed to be able to craft these out of simple gun parts here. Simple gun parts 2, right? You can, if you look at simple gun parts, you can create these out of metal parts, right? So you're kind of like trying to collect these things. You can get metal parts by salvaging other stuff, right? So like maybe you find like some batteries here. You can like convert these into 2 metal parts or something like that, right? So what I want is when I'm trying to like make a few things, I'm trying to make a Renegade 3 and some Wolfpack grenades and some band-aids and some hatch keys. I've got like all these things I'm trying to make. How do I prioritize my loot? Because like when I go up to the world, I've got a backpack and I can only carry a few things. Which things should I carry most of, right? I find that when I'm trying to make my loadout, I'm like always short on springs or oil or something like that. But like it's hard for me to like know if I have like a goal of make 10 of these guns. It's like, what do I need to pick up is not really clear to me. And so what I want is I just want like a really simple somewhere, show me what to fucking pick up, right? What is like the most important thing for me? And that depends on my inventory, how much of like, how many components I have, how many of the gun do I have, what am I trying to make most of, right? The decision changes. And so I want to make something that kind of tells me what to do. So what I'm imagining for today, if we get to the point where I have like a list of like the breakdown of a part into its like base components, I think that would be like pretty useful, right? So I'm kind of imagining that from this view, this is supposed to resemble the like stash view, right? This is what like the game looks like when you're like creating your loadout. So this page is like supposed to like semi-resemble this. My idea is that like instead of this loadout here, what I'm going to show is all of the things that I want to get. And then I just want like maybe, I'm imagining maybe something like this. Somebody's saying draw a graph or render as a constellation. I think that's actually a bad way to visualize what I'm trying to get. I think that's like visualizes the data well, but not like what I want. So I'm kind of imagining that we have like, a list of all items over here, right? Items. And then here, maybe we have like selected, right? So these are the things I'm trying to build. And we're going to have like a few items here. Maybe with like a slider that kind of shows how much I want this thing compared to the other things, or something like that. We want something that lets me prioritize which thing I want to build. Right? So maybe we're going to have a few of these, I care about this thing less, this thing more. And then what I want is kind of like a breakdown of all of the components of this thing, right? So maybe thing is made up of like springs and like other guns, and like maybe it's made up of metal parts, metal, and like some rubber, right? Whatever. What I want is, at the very least, today, if we could show how much of all of this stuff goes into all of this stuff, I think that's like a pretty good, useful spot to be. Then I'm imagining later that on this list, we can kind of configure how much of each of these things that we have in our inventory, and then that will allow us to create like a sorted list of things that we should be trying to get. We can also then later say, okay, you should be recycling these things that you find to turn them into these other things that you want. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm imagining. So I think what I want to do today is I want to kind of present this selected list with its config options, then kind of show the breakdown of items that it contains below, and then if we can get to, then I want to show like maybe, you know, if I'm making a band-aid and it takes 5 cloth, or I'm making like a good band-aid and it takes like, you know, 5 durable cloth, which takes, you know, 50 normal cloth. I kind of want to show like, okay, this thing is like 50 cloth or 5 durable cloth or this. Yeah, I want to show like how much of these like lower level components are needed to like make their way up the tree. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the goal for today. We're hoping, you know, I think if we get there, we'll have something quite useful. But you know, maybe not, and that'll be okay too. Okay, so before we were kind of like doing this like checkbox shit, where we kind of just had a way to like show which items were selected, and then when we refresh, that's like preserved. I want to change it so that these guys kind of jump. I want to remove the checkbox completely, and then have it when I click this, it like shoots over into this other section. So let's start there. I guess before we do anything, let's do a little git add dot, git commit dash m smiley face. Eventually, we are going to squash all of these into one initial commit, but you know, we're not there yet. We are using Zig in our front end because it's kind of fun. I don't like writing JavaScript, so at some point we wrote this little like framework, this like 400 line framework. Yeah, 440 lines that basically exposes a good set of like automatic entry point handling to Zig functions, or any WASM function from HTML, so that you don't really need to write any JavaScript directly. So that's what we're using here. So like in our index HTML, if we want to add a section for this like selected components area, I guess that goes in the body here, and we say, you know, we have some div that is selected items pane, right? Something like this. And in here, I guess we are going to start with a title. That makes sense. So this is tracked. And we are going to, in there, inject HTML later based off this. I think it's going to look something like this. And so what we're going to do here is when we initialize the page, probably, this guy's going to be responsible for populating these items, I think. Do you have your nix.files available to check out? No, I do not. I'm worried about leaking something. But I mean, it's nothing too crazy, I don't think. I think it's just like, I just went to the, yeah, I think they're basically just like, direct NixOS options. I don't really know the Nix language very well, so I've kind of avoided doing anything crazy. Okay. So in our item list Zig, somewhere on init page, we are generating our item list here. And we have like an untracked HTML writer. I guess here we are also going to have tracked writer. Simple. And in here, we are going to give that to this guy. And as he iterates all of the items, he is going to choose whether or not he should put them in the right side or the left side, right? So I guess this is like if tracked, or I guess this is like if not tracked. We put them in the untracked writer. Otherwise, we have the tracked writer. And I don't know, man. We're gonna do something similar. So if tracked It might be exactly the same, to be honest. If tracked, we are going to use the tracked writer, else untracked writer. And then we just use writer here. Easy. I think that this is the same. I think. So here, let's track Renegade 1. So we don't see Renegade 1 in here anymore. And then we also don't see him down here, which is not good because we do need to inject that into the HTML at the end, which we have not done. So we've kind of like generated some HTML, but we have to put that somewhere. So we just say, please put into tracked items this data in the inner HTML property, please. Okay, cool. So now we have our little guys down here. When we uncheck them and refresh, they go away and they flip back in here. So we look at this apricot, or resin, sorry. He goes down here. Perfect. So now what I want to do is I want to remove that checkbox completely. Fuck that checkbox. So kind of get this shit out of here. And what are we going to do here? It's like on click. We want to toggle his selection state. So I think that we need some sort of like on click event on these guys, right? Maybe on the outer div here. So here we want to be like WSR on event. WSR is our framework for automatically calling into Zig code, or sorry, any WASM code based off of some stuff. So here we can say like on event click, I think. On this event, we're going to call this function on item click, right? Something along these lines. What is this quote doing here? This is fucked up. Something's like wrong here. Let's try to make this right. Okay. So here I should be seeing now, if I click on this thing, he says on item click is not a function, which is great. So we just need to make a function now. So we used to have like, oh, we actually have on item clicks. We actually already have something that's very close to that. So maybe we should just rename this. Because before we did have the checkbox was probably the same function. On item click is not a function. Did I fuck that up? On item click. I thought I just fixed that. Okay. So now I think on item clicked thought that he was a checkbox now. Now what he is this div directly here, right? So if he wants to like tie this back to some state, he probably needs the item ID to be available for him here. And then we can kind of like pull that information back out. So he actually has this here, item name here. Resin here. So I think this is actually more like item ID. So let's kind of double check that. So now he has item ID resin. And when this guy's clicked, we should be able to like get his ID out of this thing. So we should be able to like call like get target attribute, because this is now tied to an event. So the event has a target. We look at the attribute of item ID. And can we for now just print that thing? Let's just see that we are extracting this correctly. Okay. Boom. Okay, so no bueno. Huh? We're seeing null here, which is not good. I would love to see maybe why that is. Is this like, does he have any other information associated with him? It is supposed to be this div. Is there any other thing that we could pull out of this thing to get a little bit more information? Okay, let's, I guess we need to go into, like, the JavaScript here and look for WSR on event. I think, where is this called? Bind WSR event here, probably. LOL, get that out of there. It's fucking not supposed to be there. So we do add event callback here. Can we call here print console log calling wasm target with EV current target. Okay, let's kind of just see what this guy's saying. Calling on item clicked with div item ID equals resin. So the bigger concern here then is why is item ID not an attribute that he is able to get? So can we look at the get target attribute function? So this is supposed to be property pointer, property len. He says event target node get attribute. Event, like, okay. Getting prop from event target node. Let's see if this looks right. Getting item ID from image. Oh. Oh. Interesting. So the image is like here we kind of have like a parent for this thing, right? And his target that we are clicking on is like the inner target, which is a little annoying. I would have wanted this to be like this on this guy. Is there a way to change that behavior? Like, okay, so what I'm worried about changing it in WSR because somebody might rely on that behavior. Someone might, but kind of fuck them, probably. It kind of feels like it should be, is it like this? Maybe with Elm? Maybe that makes more sense. Yeah. What is this doing? Call current node is Elm. I see. What is this for? Sure. Okay, so now we kind of have this ID available here, which seems kind of reasonable. We'll have to think about if current target or target is better. We might want to like think about that a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so now we like check if we are supposed to be checked, right? So is tracked is kind of okay, so we like check if this is in the global state cache. So if this is tracked, I guess we want to do like toggle tracked here on item ID. Okay. I don't know. We're figuring it out. So I guess we're gonna say like if self ID tracked, we do remove else add. All right. And then this should return the new state probably. New state. Okay, so then I guess at the end of this, we do have to update our state storage. And then here, what are we going to do? We're going to like, if new state, I guess like, new tracked, like tracked maybe? If tracked, we put this into, we do like append to elem. What does this do? I see. Okay, so we can append to the other element. So I guess we can kind of do like get target property. We kind of just want to like move this thing over, right? Right, like something like this. And then can we do like set target property? Like not to this? Can we just like clear ourselves? And then here it's like the element we're appending to is like this. So it's like to append ID is like if tracked, we're appending this to untracked items or something. Yeah, else I guess it's like this. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds kind of right. That doesn't seem crazy. Does it? Okay, did he show up in here? Well, close. But then it looks like somehow the state isn't getting updated correctly. So we're missing something. Those are print. Moving to this. Let's just kind of take a peek. Is this like getting called still after we move him? Like what's happening here? Moving to untracked. Moving to untracked. Moving to untracked. But then it looks like when they get like re-injected, they'll like, I think that it's the WSR events are not working correctly. So this guy has on item clicked attached to him. This guy does not. Right, so here we have the Beretta 3 here. Oh, we're missing a level, I think. Yeah, that's interesting. So I guess this is actually outer HTML here is what we want. We want to copy the whole node, not just the inside of it. Boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that, baby. Okay, so now the problem is that this whole thing wants to be on the right. So I kind of feel like our body should be like flex. Okay, that's looking a lot better. You know, I mean, not great, but we can get, you know, we can get away with it. Right, so now it's like boom, 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 and then all that stuff shows up at the bottom. I'll take it for now. Yeah, we should resort probably every time. So really, it might be like may need to fully regenerate like untracked list for to sort. Right? That's maybe the way that we're gonna end up doing this. Which is a little bit inefficient, but maybe fine. Or I guess the other option is like other option would be hiding item from other list. And instead of removing. That's better, right? Yeah, that would be better. So instead of removing it from the other side, we just like don't display it, and then we can then like index each particular one by ID. That's definitely better. Fix me hide from untracked instead of remove to preserve sort order. But we'll come back to that. Okay, I want a larger margin between things like in here. So is it like, how do you set like flex? How do I set like the padding between flex elements? Flex element padding. Display flex gap. That sounds right. Flex gap CSS. Just straight up gap. I got big gap right here. Yeah, it does look right. So I can like 20 pixel. Yeah, there you go. Sure. And then what is going on here? Why can, like, I guess this tracked segment needs to like fill up as much of the space as possible or something? What happened to the from scratch Google Maps project? I just got bored. I just like wasn't into it anymore, so I stopped working on it. That's kind of like a theme around here. Things that I'm not. It's more important to me to how do I say this? I think that people enjoy watching people who are excited by stuff, right? So if I stop being interested in a project, I think that I will just kind of, I think that's like visible. And I think that that will translate into like bad content. Where like me feeling shitty to produce bad content. There's no winning. The only upside is that we finish stuff. But who gives a shit about finishing stuff? Right? Finishing things are for people with office jobs. Yeah, finishing things are for people who like care about like making a product. Where like my product is the enjoyment. You know what I mean? So I got bored and I stopped working on it. My friend is like super into maps and asks me about it like once a month. And I'm like, maybe someday. But nah. Console, that because it seemed like a good idea. Yeah, I agree. I think that Google Maps fucking blows. Yeah, what was I doing here? I wanted to know why this, like, boy has, like, scroll bars in here. It's this tracked items div. It's because this guy has class items, which we might not want. I see. Because yeah, I see. So we kind of want, I think this guy on the left has this like items pane stuff associated with him. We probably want something similar on the selected items pane. So I think that we want like both of these panes now should be items pane, but this guy should be selected items pane here. Unselected items pane and items pane, and this is selected items pane and items pane. There we go. And then in our CSS now, we have items pane has this stuff, but then the selected items pane has like this or unselected. And then selected items pane has like a flex grow probably to try to fill up the remaining space or something. It's probably something like that. They both fill the height for now. That might change. Okay. Yeah, that looks better. That looks better. How is that be used as a website or overlay in the game? Second monitor website. Just with like a quick little, like, eventually there'll be like a quick overview. I believe you can do nested CSS natively nowadays, by the way. I don't know what that means. I'm too stupid. I don't really know web dev, okay? We write websites like once every 4 months. What up with I don't like that there's no gap vertically, but it's not worth fixing right now. Not worth fixing right now. Okay, cool. Present selected list. Sick. Okay, so now let's try to find out what the components of this thing are. So I think that means that here I think that we want like a components list maybe here. Foo bar display none is a thing you can do. It's great. Oh, so you guys are kind of I guess what you guys are like kind of implicitly saying is that I could have done like this or something like this, right? So that like I have like my global items pane thing, but then like I have like sub items pane things like the selected items or the unselected items that are like kind of only relevant in this case. So something like that is probably what you guys are getting at, but this is fine. We'll live. I wasn't trying paying attention to that part, lol, but yeah, okay, cool. Sure, makes sense. Okay, what the fuck are we doing? Let's make it so that this unselected item pane takes up the full height, the selected item pane takes up half height, and then so now if we look at the selected items pane, this whole thing is kind of fucked because I opened my web pages so small. But sure. Okay, so then we can have like components below. And then I guess that means that this is kind of like more like this, right? So this is it's almost like this is just right side. Right? This is like because we're like kind of changing the flex direction. So this is gonna fuck something up, probably. Maybe not. Maybe we're chilling. Okay, and then in here, this is also going to be an item pane, but this is gonna be like dependent items pane or something, right? Components. Something like this, and this is gonna be item components. Something like this. And then I guess this is kind of just happens to work, but it kind of feels like this right pane should be a flex box. No. Yeah, I guess normal layout flow for the right pane is fine. Surprisingly. Okay, cool. Okay, so I guess what we'll do for now is every time we move something, I think that we just call like regenerate components. I think that's kind of just the way that this makes sense. Regenerate components. Components. Like this. What does the ampersand do? What are you guys talking about? What is this? Abe, dude, fuck off, Twitch. Why would I ever want you to cover the words that I'm trying to highlight with fucking, like, who wants this? It's fine. But, like, it's like the end is like this. Oh, I see. So you want to limit the scope. I see. Homemade Twitch chat client coming. I should have done a Twitch chat client like 2 years ago. I've been putting it off. This is modern web design. You just have to embrace it. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I should just be happy. I should be happy when they fuck me. Like, okay, what the fuck am I doing here? We need to, like, start walking the tree, right? So, do I have that data right now? I mean, we have that data somewhere, right? We've yoinked the data, but I don't know if we have it in our pre-processed output that we are looking at here. So we have components here, which looks good. So we probably want to walk some, it's like a tree, right? Do we kind of pull that in here? No, we don't, right? So we do need to say components is something. Probably a list of component. Component is component. He has an ID. And what else? Quantity. Probably U32 is sufficient. Probably, oopsies. Probably, like, U16 would be sufficient even. You know? Probably. I don't think you ever need more than that much. Okay, so we walk these components, and I guess we need some sort of graph right now. So when we first parse our response, we have like a flat list of things with an ID field, right? And I guess we probably want to build a component graph when the page loads and we first get this data. We want to, like, store it in some more reasonable way, right? So I haven't really thought about this, but maybe something like this. So I guess that we have some sort of hash map. I guess this is I guess this is the same. It's like almost it's almost just like we want, like, item map instead of item list. And I think it's just like item map is a stood hash map of, like, to items. I think that's all it is. And we just need to populate this because we have, like, a flat list up front. So we kind of want this parse from token source leaky. I guess all of these items are now going to be kind of long-lived allocations, right? So these, like, live for a lifetime of page. And we go, like, for... maybe not, actually. This is confusing. Because kind of like the array component of this thing, we want to deallocate, but the map part, we don't. So it's almost like this representation we kind of allow to die. And we kind of want to go, like, for items Uh, we like stick it in the item map, probably. I don't know. If we get a little crazy, I think that this thing can be valid all the time. So we can kind of like remove this question mark if we do this. And we just go like put item ID. Uh, like this. Something like this. What's he mad about? 3 arguments. Sure. So here he wants like clone dupe onto the WASM allocator as well. And we'll just say like a little inefficient, but we parse the JSON into our temporary allocator because it will allocate more than we technically want to store. We then copy into the real global alloc for the stuff we want to keep. In reality, it might be better to just over allocate directly onto the global alloc or something. Whatever. We'll come back to it. And I think technically, actually, since the ID is owned in the data, we can kind of do this first. And then we can use item ID directly here without having to copy it again. I think this should be fine. So now we just need, this is duped. Okay, cool. So now we just need to be able to duplicate items onto whatever allocator we feel like. So this guy gets a little function. And this is just like, you know, whatever. ID is equal to try alloc dupe ID, boom. Whatever. This is like a little verbose, but fuck you, you know? We'll live. We will live. If else none. Or I guess it's like null? Yeah. There we go. Here we go. Name. Rarity. And like technically, we could use this as an opportunity to like parse some of this stuff. Like this is kind of more like the like JSON representation. Does not necessarily equal to like internal repr, right? So we could take this opportunity to do stuff like convert rarity to enum, right? Like we could do stuff like this now, which might be nice for later, but for now we're not going to bother. If self rarity are else null, like whatever. Bum 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 bum. New components. Alloc component. Self components len, and then it's like new components. This is like a mem copy of These guys have strings as well. For self components, new components, old, new, something like this. New is equal to old dupe to the new allocator. Wowzer. Which means this guy needs a dupe. Whatever, dude. Whatever. This is fine. A little bit of overhead, but this is the price we pay for doing things the way that we do them. We will live. All right. Okay. Easy. What's this fucking thing piss about? Try here. Okay, so now we have all of our items in some map that we can walk. And so I guess every time we regenerate components, we look over can we like iterate the tracked items here? Yeah, probably. Key iterator, probably. Tracked item iterator. So while we look at this guy, this gets an ID. The tracked item is equal to something. Let's think. Global dot item map get. Right, he's like this. Okay. And can we just do something like print, like WSR print tracked item name or something, just for now to see some behavior so that we can prove that what we've written is correct. So we're hoping to see here, I copy this guy in, I see kettle 4. Let's do this. Is tracked. Right, so when I bring this guy in, I see Stitcher 1 is tracked. Kettle 2 is tracked. Lance's mixtape 5th edition is tracked. And then I take this out, and we don't see that one anymore. So this is good. He is definitely enumerating all of the tracked boys. And I guess we probably have some sort of like tracked item builder, right? Like component list builder or something. Right? And in here, he probably has like a map. I don't really know yet. That maps to what? Like the quantity, probably? So like component quantities. And as we kind of say like add component, right? Something like this. And this guy's going to like look at this item and he's gonna like, oh yeah, I think we like make the builder here. I don't know. We're kind of pulling shit around. So here we have quantity is equal to, you know, init with some allocator. And as we rip through the tracked items, we say like builder add component of, this is going to take the item ID, I guess. Sure. And quantity here. How many of these things we're going to add? I feel like a U32 might start to be more relevant here. So for each boy, we are going to look at the item map. So this is the item ID here. And we're assuming that the item is in the list. If it's not, that's a fucking problemo. We're missing... Okay, so I guess it's like self quantities put, get or put the ID. Before we start like recursing, we just look at how many they ask for, right? So like, gop is this, if there's nothing, we say gop value pointer is equal to 0, wonderful. Then we say, you know, plus equals quantity. There's probably some multiplier as well, right? Because like, if I am looking for like cloth, if I need like 4 durable cloth, no, sorry. If I need 4 durable cloth, that durable cloth is made up of 5 fabric, but I need to multiply that 5 by 4, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm not really sure how this plays in yet, but I think that'll become pretty clear when we get into recursion, right? So I think it's that... What is it? What is going on here? Unused local const. Let me think. So as we add ourselves to the list, and then we clearly need to do some recursion, right? So we're gonna like get the item. We're gonna like for item components. We're gonna have to like do this, right? Recurse down. Component dot quantity, and then maybe the multiplier is my quantity. That feels kind of right. Yeah. That feels kind of right, right? This is probably where that multiplier comes in. Sure. Fuck it. I don't know, man. What is this piss about? Oh, this guy can't error, I see. Sure. Okay. So then, can we just here for var component iter is like builder quantities iterator, and then can we go like while we see this stuff, can we do something like say how much each boy needs? You know? Does that do something sane? It might. So let's pick something like simple. So first of all, if I do remotes, he's literally just like one remote control, because you can't build a remote control as far as I understand. Okay, what about something simple? Is like durable cloth here somewhere? Durable cloth, I feel like, is like a really... Oh, this is good. Bandages are made up of 5 fabric. So here we see 5 fabric, which is really good. And what if we have fabric and durable cloth? So I think durable cloth is 10 fabric, I think, and bandage is 5 fabric. So if we put both of these, we see we're looking for 19 fabric. So that's a weird number, right? There's a little bit of a problem in there, but it could be that this is just kind of like a fucked up metric. Can we look up a durable cloth in here? It does say 14. Is that right? That's such a big number. Maybe that's right. Okay, if that then in that case this is correct then, right? Um okay, so the simple ones are working. Now what if we do something like one of the green band-aids takes durable cloth and some plants. So where is our little green band-aid? Green band-aid, this one. So this guy, he says one great mullion, one durable cloth, one herbal bandage. So here he's kind of said that that's 14 fabric, which makes sense, right? Because one durable cloth and 14 fabric are equivalent, right? So he's said that I'm making my herbal bandage out of two of these, but you also are looking for 14 fabric. Now, what's kind of maybe shitty about this visualization is that we don't really like if we show everything flat, there's no like visual representation that durable cloth and 14 fabric are equivalent. But I think that's like maybe okay. I think that once we start adding in like weights for things, when I start saying I have like 1,000 fucking fabric, I think like whatever sort we're doing will make it so that this durable cloth also is like less important. Right? Because we will somehow be able to resolve the idea that durable cloth is resolvable from our 1,000 fucking fabric, so we don't have to worry about it. So for now I'm okay. I really don't want to show like a tree. I think a tree is too much like information density. You know what I mean? Well, at least for like the looting view, but maybe for this view a tree is good. That's like a possibility. Okay. Sure. What if I throw in something else on here? Right? So I huck in something else that also takes fabric. So there's blue band-aids somewhere. Where are my blue band-aids? I don't think this is the one. I'm looking for like the blue little like the fucking like Pop Tart. Where's the blue Pop Tart? Is it this? No, it's a thermostat. It's gotta be in here. It's gotta be. Blue Pop Tart. Blue Pop Tart. Boom, boom. We should sort these things the way that the game sorts them. Then it would be like way easier to find. Here. So this guy takes 2 durable cloth. So now when we look at like our list of shit here, I guess the dependent component. This is kind of interesting actually. We shouldn't be showing herbal bandage in here. That's a mistake. So I think we kind of want something like this. Add add we want to like omit the top level here, which is fine. We just iterate components here probably for it's probably something like this. Yeah. Component quantity. Okay, so I refresh this guy. We wait for all these fucking images to load because I have disable cache on. I close this guy and now he's at the bottom, so I bring him back. And now this is much more reusable. So from these guys, I have 3 flowers that I want, 3 durable cloth, which this 3 durable cloth is equivalent to 42 fabric, 1 antiseptic, 10 chemicals. Yeah, I feel like this is like an idea. I feel like there's something here. So let's start putting these components. Let's visualize them, and then maybe we show like the number on top or something. I have a friend of mine who said that coding in Vim is plus plus aura. I need a confirmation on how true that is opinion. I think that it doesn't matter. I think that like people should use tools that make them effective. But I will say there's probably a like a large overlap in people who end up using Vim bindings. I won't say Vim specifically, but I will say Vim bindings, and people who have found ways to be more effective with their tools. It's not the only path for sure, but the Vim way is like a very like high initial investment to high output method of writing text. But that doesn't mean that you can't become that effective in other ways. So I'm not going to say one way or the other. I like writing with Vim. Choosing your text editor based off aura instead of your own productivity is an aura minus minus. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It is funny. The idea, like, you must have this, like, such, like, a fucked up social value system for which text editor you use to, like, have an effect on aura at all. Right? That's just, like, a funny thought in general. Because surely any normal social system that doesn't, it's like talking about it at all is minus aura. All right, let's put this stuff somewhere. So let's say component writer is a stud IO writer allocating. And in here, we're gonna be like, for each component, we say, let's make a item HTML widget with item is, global item map get this item. No, you used Vim before Vim. Yeah, I used Vim a lot before. I think so. I don't really know if I were to like compare Vim and NeoVim now. I don't really know what I would look at because what happened was like maybe 5 to like 8 years ago when NeoVim was like new. Vim didn't support a bunch of stuff that was like I think critical for a reasonable IDE experience. So probably like 5 to 7 years ago, I did like a lot of IDE hopping, just trying to find something that fucking like was good at editing text and had good like call tree resolution. And it was like shockingly hard to find that. And at the time, NeoVim started adding like multi-threading in the editor and like job control and like and LSP shit. And so like that combo made it like quite attractive. But I think that Vim caught up on a lot of that stuff. So I don't really know the difference anymore. And I haven't looked because like, you know, I found my answer. You know? Okay, so this is probably like writer print, you know, this guy. And then probably here we like take this stuff at the end, and where are we? We're like looking for set elem property, and we're looking for the property of the element of this like item components, and we're probably trying to set the inner HTML property to whatever we wrote out here. Probably something like that. All right, how we looking? Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, that's kinda slick. Wait, that's not bad at all. Wait, that's kind of sick. So, wait, this is kind of cool. Yeah, wait, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, so we probably want to like sort this stuff. We also want to remove any. We should also check anything that should be skipped if you think about it. Right. So here we filtered out stuff from this view over here, but we need to filter out from this view too. So I think we just go like if should skip item continue. So now we shouldn't see the blueprint in here. And then we also need to regenerate this stuff on page load. So here we probably want to do like this. So that when I refresh, it's there. Boom, 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 refresh, boom, boom, refresh, boom, boom. Sick. Not bad at all. Not bad. Okay, so now we have this like overlay text for the what's this called? Like the item level. Now I was going to say that we can just reuse that for the quantity, but we can't, right? Because the Bettina 4 depends on the Bettina 2. So we can't just like write the number here like we are for the level. Where do we write it? I guess we could write it on the top for now. Fuck it. Fuck it, you know? Which means that this guy. So where were we writing the text for the gun? This guy gets item level overlay here. And so I guess we just put item quantity overlay as another thing that we might write. And we just like put that on the top. And then I think that probably gets wrapped. This gets wrapped one level higher, I think. So I think when we're writing this stuff outright in the regenerate components thing, we kind of like put this in a div so that here we can start like putting our other stuff in here, right? So we're gonna put like you know, item quantity overlay here with the quantity like this, right? Something like this. And then here we write the quantity kv value pointer dot star. Okay, let's just kind of see what that does. So that does put the numbers above. Honestly, putting them outside isn't crazy. Looking at it like maybe just like top left corner is okay. Maybe top left corner. Okay, so how the fuck do we do this? I think this needs some class as well. So like component item or something. I don't know. How'd you solve the CDN images thing? I actually just completely swapped out the data backend. So just like fucked the original Arc Raiders data repo, and I pulled all of the data from Metaforge and then manually filled in all of the salvage costs by like linking to the wiki and figuring it out from there. Okay. I kind of like it on the top left if we can get it there. So wait, is this right here? Component item here. So item card has position relative. So I think that we also want component item to have position relative, I think. And then I think that lets us take this guy who is item quantity overlay. And I believe that we can now do position absolute, which takes him out of the layout graph. And then I don't really understand why he's over the left edge here. What's going on here? So this item card, he's got yellow. So this number is allowed to leak into the margin, I guess. Is that what's happening? Yeah. So I think that we do want him like inset a little bit so that he's not over the haloing. So it's probably like top 5 picks or something. Yeah. And then why do the 1-digit and 2-digit numbers look different? Am I fucking high? Also, why are these not aligned anymore? I have lots of questions. Oh, because I changed the margin on one of these. Hold on. Okay, so I refresh. We missed something here. It was somebody needed position relative. I think I didn't copy everything. Oops. I think it was the component item got position relative because the absolute position is relative to whichever parent has a position on him. Something like that. Component item. Did I spell this wrong? Component item. Component item. Hello? Oh, disable cache maybe? There we go. And then I wanted left here. Too many pixels? That looks okay. There's something related to like the margins here. Maybe give the number a solid background. Yeah, or at least like you could do background. So let's just double check that does what I want. It does actually. But I think that I want something. I kind of want it to like extend to the left, right? So I do want like lower alpha on here for sure, right? So like this. Which you can see kind of taking effect here. It just looks weird if it doesn't extend to the top left corner as well. You know what I mean? So I think that means that you kind of you probably want like a box here that's like a specific size, maybe a size that's like related to the text size, and then you want to like extend it to the bottom right and then align the text in the bottom right of that box or something. But that is a future to do because styling I think is not the super interesting part of this. You know what I mean? Okay. So I think there's something wrong here. Here I want to be able to kind of like inject how many of each thing I have. And then probably we also want sorting. Let's cover the sorting first, actually. Well, there's like kind of like a way that sorting is done in the Arc Raiders loot screen that is like kind of abnormal. It's something like it sorts by category, then by rarity, then by name. Right? So you kind of get like all of your shields at the top, and then all of your guns, then all of your ammo. So probably this sort, I think should actually, there's two ways you could sort this, right? You could sort this by priority, or by quantity, or by like typical sort order. And I think that this view is like, in my brain, this is like the configuration view, right? So there's going to be another page that we'll go to that will show us kind of like a priority list of what we want to loot. But I think here what I want is like a sorted list where I can configure also how many of each thing I have, right? So this rubber parts thing, like I should kind of be able to say like, we need 47 rubber parts. Sure. We need 91 metal. Sure. But like, I have like 1,000 fucking metal, right? So I kind of want in here for me to be able to configure parts. Was there something you didn't like in the Arc Raiders companion app, or is this for fun of building it? I didn't look. We don't look things up before we start around here. We just start typing. So I didn't know that there was an Arc Raiders companion app. Maybe at the end we can compare and I'll throw this out. But I like the idea of like, sometimes it's fun to kind of find your own solution first, right? Because then you don't get like corrupted by what exists in the world, right? Because of the fact that I can write software, I kind of like I imagine writing software as like it's almost like a superpower, or like it feels like magic, where like you can just like spawn a thing into existence that you think of, right? So I thought of this, and now we can just make it, and so then afterwards we can find out if what we made was good. But I like the idea of like honing the craft and like trying a thing, you know. So we'll keep going this way for now, but I will consider that later. Okay, something I wanted to check here. This has information that I can gather now. So I wanted to know, like, Batina 4, like approximately how much metal, or but not Batina, Renegade 4, how much metal is that? So like from like base components, we're talking like 56 metal, 12 simple gum parts, 12 springs. Holy shit. 12 springs is a lot. And then 5 oil, I think, is like the things that I can't craft myself. 24 rubber. Compared to a Renegade 1, which is only like 14. Okay, that's interesting. We might also at some point want to visualize like upgrade path, right? So like if I like there's a view for this app that could exist where you put in like a starting point as well, right? So instead of me just saying I want to make this, I want to make this given that I have this is like another thing we could do. Um but okay. Um let's move on to us trying to configure how much of each thing we have. We won't like apply that to like the loot view yet, but I think that it's important for us to be able to say I have a fucking 1,000 metal. So I think that this components list, I think what happens is this components list takes up more of the screen, right? This guy kind of like the tracked view only takes up as much vertical space as it needs, and maybe like we limit it to 2 layers or something like that, right? Then the components view kind of shoots up here, and this becomes like a vertical list, maybe like a 2 wide vertical list or something like that, where each item has a slider next to it, maybe maybe logarithmic, not sure. Because I have like 1,000 metal and like 3 oil cans, right? So like that slider should be able to like represent something in that range. So it's probably let's do our mock-up. I think it's probably gonna look something like spring slider like number, right? Something like that, and then I just quickly like click on each item in the slider to configure. That seems reasonable-ish to me. We can try that and see where it goes. We can see where it goes. All right. So I guess that means that this component list. Well, let's do git add -u, git status, git commit -m smile. Let's checkpoint ourselves a little bit. And so I guess this is going to be now, we still are going to have a div for component item. I still like the idea of the number. The number, maybe that number is going to move, but maybe it stays there. We'll see. Which means that this probably wraps again. Probably. And we have like div, I guess this is who gets component item. This guy probably gets like a class of component preview or something, right? So that guy who said component item before, this is component preview now. And then in here, I think component item is probably like a flex container. I think. And then here, we're going to put our component preview followed by, a slider, whatever, however the fuck you do this. I don't remember. We'll look it up after. Maybe range. And then here we're going to have a div of ID. This is probably going to be something that's like item ID, quantity preview or something. Like a. This is not quantity. This is like my ownership of this thing. What is that called? Stash size? Maybe like this. And then as this thing changes, we can have like on here, WSR on event equals change, WSR call, update stash amount. And then, or this is a function, sorry, update stash amount. And then we probably want to attach the like update ID here, right? So like, we'll call this like to update is this same guy. So maybe we do this. Yeah, it's fine. Right? Something like this. And then this guy feels like he should be, it feels like we should start naming stuff now. So this is like item ID. Right? And then this guy is item widget or something, like preview widget, image widget. Image widget, and then this is item quantity. Okay, that's starting to feel like kind of okay. So this is item quantity is equal to this. This is image widget is equal to this. Then we have item ID is item ID, and we have I think that's it. Okay. Okay, so that's not bad. Maybe the preview, I mean, just kind of looking at this the way it looks now, we could just like, we could kind of make this an area here where you have the stash, like you could write like stash size and then the number below kind of feels like it would look okay. Right? I'm really just, we're feeling it out. So here, I kind of want like stash size here. You know what I mean? And then the number below. That actually does not feel that bad at all. So this guy's probably bitching like all over the place because update stash amount doesn't exist. But we'll figure that out. Update stash amount. And then this guy is going to call update stash amount failable, surely, or else catch probably. And then he's going to like print the failure. And then probably print the captured backtrace, and then unreachable crashy. Doll-like controls would work here too. To click and drag up down to raise lower counter with rotational visualization overlay. I was thinking that originally. That was like the first thought I had. But then I was like, that's like a lot of web dev. Was the second thought I had. So I agree with you. But I think that what I want to focus on during these streams is probably like feature development. Like I kind of want like the stuff I'm good at, which is like coding to be what we do here. And then the stuff I'm bad at, like CSS, I want to like try to avoid taking up too much time doing that if we can. Or else the videos are just going to make people scream at me. They're going to get so mad. Okay. So for now, we can kind of just do nothing there, and that should fix the problem at least. Yeah, so no more error spam here. I think that the initial values of all of these should probably be 0. And then we need to set the ranges here. So how does this fucking work? So we want like get event property probably, and like how does this thing work? Using console. Is it like value? 100. Yeah, so it's by default 0 to 100. So I probably want to like attach a range to this thing. And I want like I think that I want like a logarithmic view into this thing. Wolfram alpha. Can we do like log x from 0 to 1? Does that like look like what I want? Yeah, and then I just multiply this by like max size, probably. Right, so I just like take this plot and multiply it by 1,000. Is that right? It's kind of the wrong way, right? I think I want exponential. I want it. Yeah, I guess I want exponential. Because I want finer grain control at the bottom. Is this even what I want? This feels like too linear. Do I just want like pow x? Is that what exp is? Kind of is, right? Why does it look like this? Is it just because the graph is wide? Like it looks the same. Oh, interesting. For some reason, I thought that it looked the same at all scales. So I guess you kind of just like tune this till like the like shape of the curve looks kind of right, and then you multiply kind of how you want. Is that how you're supposed to do this? So like something like this, and then multiply this so that the maximum is 1,000. Maybe that's fucking stupid, but sure. So is this value? Format int parse int. Something like this. I guess U8 is kind of right. This is like 0 to 100. Would you not want to input as well, not force dragging? I think that we can be pretty approximate. I think we'd be pretty approximate. As long as you have like enough fine grain control at the bottom. Wolfram alpha looking at XX graphs in ranges till the shape looks reasonable. Input val. So we have like stud math exp input val. I guess we kind of want this to be a float actually. To be honest. So we look, you know, over 33-ish. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. And then, so we say like max is 100 over 33, right? And then, we do like max time, we do val is equal to this, then we do, I don't know, val times equals, you know, 1,000, like max exp, I guess. Max val is 1,000 or something. Max val over max exp. Something like this. And then we're probably like, I think the left side is 1 by default, so we need to subtract 1 somewhere. Erkernersten has a good answer, probably. My math is really bad. That does sound kind of right. I think that this is almost where I ended up. Almost. Aren't you missing? Oh, X here is the parameter here for how much you want to scale it. That's clever. I see what you're doing. I see. But I guess fuck it. I don't know. I think I'm missing a -1 somewhere. So I think I just do this. That sounds about right. Almost there. WSR print val. Oh no, man. Let's just kind of see how that feels. Refresh. He's actually really mad. Invalid character. So the parsing he doesn't like at all here, probably. Am I not getting the right thing? It's empty. Whoa, what the fuck? What the fuck? Bind WSR event. Did I fuck this up when we modified this earlier? Call WASM target, LM WASM target. We changed event target node to LM, but we didn't change the event. Current event is still EV. Oh, because it's not event property, it's target property. Hold on. I forgot. This is get target property, not event property. Alright, let's try that again. I'm way out of range. Why? Yeah, wait, what the fuck am I doing? There we go. It was supposed to be like this. So top is 1,000. Then we're ending up at like 0. We need like more granularity on the bottom. So we want to lower this 33. Make the curve a little stronger. Oopsies, I just refreshed chat instead of this. Yeah, so 0, 4, 6, 8. And then here we should also make sure that the slider here can give like more like smaller steps, right? So it can still go 0 to 100. That's fine. I don't give a fuck. But is it like step? Like, can we make this smaller? So that like, yeah, there, now these are like, nope, that's way too steep. That is a way too steep thing. So where was that 10? Let's try 20. So here it's like, you know, we have, I can get 0, 1, 2, 4, 6, 10, 17, 30, 70, 100, 300, 1,000. Yeah, I mean, that feels about right. And then I want this to be triggering on, like, I kind of want to be able to drag and watch it change as I'm dragging. Right now I have to, like, release, right? So the event of change is wrong here. This should be the event of, like, I don't know, input event, HTML. What is, like, there's change. Where do I look at this? Change is this. So events. Is it drag? No. Can I look at, like, input element, HTML input element? Here, will this guy have a list of all of his events somewhere? Surely. Oh, it's like fucking like through inheritance though, right? So like it doesn't show me all of the events here. It only shows me the specific ones. So I need to look at what a bad why would I ever want to look at it this way? Okay. When an element or text selection is being dragged, drag feels close, but that's like a stupid fucking name for whatever I'm actually trying to do, right? I'm trying to look for like just the slider fucking moved. Which doesn't feel like any of these names. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's time to ask the idiot. What event do I want to monitor slider movement in HTML? Not change, that only fires on release. No, fucking, you've got it backwards. No. I want way too many updates, not just the one on release. Input. Thank you. Is that more right? Yeah, there we go. So now as I drag this, we can update the element below, right? So we can say, I guess it's like get target attribute to update was what we called it, right? Yep. Const to update. I guess if we go, we need to put this in some buffer somewhere. So arena is stood heap arena allocator with the stood heap wasm allocator. We just kind of fire these up all over the place. We don't really give a shit. Then we have stood IO writer allocating initialize from this guy. Dalek control in 42 lines. Oh, that's slick, dude. That is cool. I guess I'll just save this page for later. Downloads. Drag. I assume that will give me something. Thank you. That looks slick, baby. But I'm just gonna tackle that in a minute. Like I want to finish the stupid way first, and then I'll do that off stream probably. But thank you. New HTML. New HTML print. Writer print. And what are we doing? It's literally just like, wait, this is just a fucking number. Stood format print int. Asserts that this goes into some buffer. I want like write int. Do I? I just want something that like fucking, it's fine. Okay. I guess it's just kind of like this. It's fine. We'll just do this. I don't give a shit. This is fine. Val integer is the truncated version of this. Int from float. Okay, whatever. This is fine. I don't give a shit, dude. I don't give a shit. Set elem property. So it's literally just the element ID. So this is the input buffer. And then we are setting the inner HTML field to new HTML written. Okay. Let's just see how that feels. Yeah, okay. That's not bad at all. So these should all initialize to 0 automatically. So can is that like a field you can set on an input slider to set its initial value, just like from HTML? I think you just write value, right? I feel like I've done that before. Yeah, here. Value of the control. So we just set value to 0 off rip. And then we set here this guy to 0 as well. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, beautiful. Okay, there's definitely like some like styling problems here. Right? We've accidentally like shrunk this width by mistake. But like, this is something. This is definitely something. So I'm like, I want a Pharaoh 4. And I've got, I already have one. I have. Oh, there's a bug there somewhere too. There's a bug where sometimes I think I'm dragging the slider and it's like dragging the wrong thing. I have like a couple of these, and I have one of these, and I have 100. I have like 1,000 fucking rubber and 1,000 fucking metal, and a couple of these, and I have like maybe 20 of these. I probably have more like 4 of these and 12 of these or something. Yeah, that feels pretty good in terms of like just initial configuration. Then the next piece to do is like to take this information and use it to generate scores for each of these components. But I think the score calculation we'll leave for tomorrow because we are at about 4 o'clock. It is 3:55 and we aim for a 4 o'clock end, so I think this is a nice natural place to call it. Yeah. This is pretty sick. Pretty sick. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, we stream most days. We aim for 12:30 to 4 o'clock Pacific time. It is 3:55 if you were watching live now, so anywhere between 3.5 hours ago and now, as we should expect to see us. We're working on this Arc Raiders looting tracker for a few days, but the longer term project is a Wayland compositor. So if you want to see us write a window manager in Zig using very low dependencies, we will be back on that. I know that sometimes I say that and then we don't. I am actually planning on going back to this one. I'm still very interested in the Wayland window manager, but I've said that before too, so we'll never know. We never know. But hopefully this loot tracker only lives for a couple more days. We only do this for a couple more days, and we'll be back. YouTube in the Twitch description, Twitch in the YouTube description. If you want to support Patreon, YouTube members, Twitch VODs, in return, you get the other half of the streams that we don't post on YouTube because there's too much stuff to post and some stuff is not very like titleable, thumbnailable, etc. Thank you, Kevin, for the tier 1. Much appreciated. YouTube, peace out, and Twitch, let's find someone to raid.